Welcome to the Segmented Podcast, the show where we bring you 3 segments each episode, ranging from discussion to improv. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing good.
We started an episode exactly like this one time.
I don't care. I'm doing so good.
Except we were both doing it that time, but right now
If I cared, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If you cared at all. But fortunately, you don't care what people think.
Okay, what are we doing today, Noah?
Well, we're going to start it off with a classic 60-second improv story. Then we're going to do our traditional Blank-ology. And then we're going to finish it off with our iconic rants about everything / nothing.
A real cult classic.
Let's get into it.
Segment 1, 60-second improv story. In this segment, we give each other a name, a place, and a nonsense word, and the other person has to take those, and they have to make a story out of it in 60 seconds. They have to say the story in 60 seconds. They don't get 60 seconds to prepare. That would be unfair.
That would be lame sauce. What kind of 60-second improv story would that be? Am I right? Ha ha ha.
Oh,
Anyway.
Also there's a boop at 30 seconds.
Yes, which is something we often forget, and then people get confused. I'm sorry. It's just so ingrained into our mind.
It's more for each other than anything else.
Yeah, well, it's entirely for each other. Actually, I could probably just edit it out for the audience.
It's a part of the show. It
is part of the show. You're right. Our show would be absolutely nothing without.
It would be nothing without the boop. In fact, we're gonna change it to boop-mented in the next season, which is coming at episode
40.
It's coming out next episode, actually.
Yeah. The first season is all on YouTube and stuff. We do 5 segments every episode. Second season, we change it to 3. Third season, we change it to 1, or just call it boop-mented.
We just do 60-second improv story.
Yeah, every single episode. Every episode is just called 60-second improv story number 326. It's like those Fortnite gaming videos.
There's so many.
There's so many by one person. Anyway, let's get into it.
Shall I give you mine first?
Yes, please.
All right. Noah.
That's my name.
Your name is, or your name. The name I'm giving you. The name is Gromp.
Gromp.
The place is in a swamp. And the word is
swamp.
Yomp.
Ah, dang it. Yomp?
Yomp. Gromp. Yomp.
Yeah.
In a swamp. Yomp. Like the letter Y.
Yomp. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah.
Get set. Go.
Grump. He was a lovely little ogre named Grump. He's actually Shrek's often not talked about cousin. And he lives in a swamp. And he usually says, "What are you doing in a swamp?" He would say my swamp, but he doesn't actually have official ownership on it. Anyway, his younger brother named Yomp. His parents were also named Fwomp and Gwomp. They lived together in this swamp. And unfortunately, people came one day, and they were starting to invade Grump and Yomp. And Grump said to Yomp, he said, "What are you doing in my swamp?" And he said, "Yomp, get the artillery." And then Yomp ran to the what the flip am I saying? Ran to the cabinet and killed a bunch of people because he grabbed torches and pitchforks and a shotgun and shot all of the villagers who were trying to invade their swamp.
And time. Wow, what a great tale! I can't tell if it was a tragedy or if it was Shrek. But I loved it if it was either of them.
I accidentally said 2 cities that are near me, so I'm just gonna bleep those out. Oh yeah, I don't.
It just sounded like nonsense to me.
Okay, Ben.
Yes.
The name that you will use is Beth Lancelot.
Okay, Beth Lancelot?
Beth Lancelot, like Macbeth, or like Elizabeth, or like Bethany.
Right, Beth.
Beth Lancelot.
Yep.
The place is the castle. Not a castle, the castle.
The castle.
Nonsense word is Techrophilon. Techrophilon.
I'm ready.
Okay. You have 60 seconds on the clock starting now.
Once upon a time, there was a young, enchantress. Her name was Beth Lancelot. She was often overshadowed by her younger brother, Sir Lancelot. We don't know his first name because that's not important. But Beth his older sister was a young enchantress, and she lived in the small kingdom of Who Cares. And there she practiced her magic in the castle, not just any castle, but the castle of the magic people. And there she was looking out of the tower, and she was like, "Oh no, look, there's trouble in Tech-Roflan." And the king was like, "Oh, well, you better send your younger brother, Sir Lancelot, to it." And she's like, "No, I can do it myself." And then Beth removed the helium from her mouth and went down to the castle and went, "Hey, what are you guys doing down
Time.
here?"
That was so unexpected, and I loved it. And then she took the helium out of her voice and was like, "Hey, what's going on here? What are you doing in my swamp?
What are you doing down here? My name's Beth.
My name's Grump, and I'm in the swamp.
Everyone is Shrek today. Oh.
My name's Biff, and you will do my bidding."
You'll do what I say. Don't let me pull the helium out again.
Don't let me take the helium and shove it down your lungs. We wouldn't want that now, would we? You'd be flying all over the place.
Oh, I got so wrapped up in the characters and the setting that I forgot that plot is a thing that has to happen.
That always happens. And so if you didn't notice, I was setting up all of this stuff with Grump and Yump, and then it didn't start the story until you said boop, and then I was like, okay, something's happening.
The best part is the world building and the jokes you could tell with that. Like,
yeah, I agree. Segment 2, Blank-ology. What we did is we went to the Wikipedia page, list of words ending in ology, and found some pretty great ologies, which is usually, but not all the time, the study of something. So, in the past, we'd covered autonumerology, woodpeckerology, hippoology, archaeology, all sorts of ologies. And so what we did was we went to this page, link in the show notes, and we're going to bring them to the table and talk about them. And it's just wacky things that are just a little fun and...
sorry. I'm allergic to ologies unless I'm wearing my study glasses. I'm going to grab my study glasses.
I'm going to grab my study glass. I don't have them. At all. They don't exist, my study glasses.
There we go. Much better.
Nice. All right. Benjamin, take us away with our first one.
Our first ology that we have... Sorry. The first one that I have is papyrology? Papyrology. Papyrology. Anyway, whatever it is, can you guess what it is?
It's I'm thinking the study of paper or papyrus, which is a form of paper.
It's the study of ancient literature as preserved in manuscripts written on papyrus. I mention it because I saw a professional book today that the entire front side was in papyrus, the font.
Oh.
And I was disgusted.
That's disgusting.
I bet it was a really good book though.
No.
So remember, kids, don't judge a book by its cover, but by its font.
But by its font, exactly.
That's right.
I have one called Plangonology. Can you guess what that is?
What?
Plangonology or Plangonology.
Plangonology?
Mm-hmm.
It's the study of percussive instruments.
That's because it goes playing.
That's the only thing I can think of.
That is a very good guess, but unfortunately, no. It is the study of dolls or the collection of dolls.
I wonder
probably
where
brass dolls.
Pling comes from to dolls.
Beats me. I have no idea.
All right, I'm gonna take these glasses off. They're giving me a headache.
I didn't know that if you were actually wearing glasses.
I was.
Okay.
It wasn't a joke. I don't normally.
I mean, it was a joke. It's just you were serious about the joke.
I was serious about putting the glasses on. I was for real. I was committing.
Respectable.
The next ology is gerodontology.
Ooh,
or gerudotology.
Gerudo? Is that...
It's like, okay, I picked it because there's one letter off from being gerudontology. But disappointingly, it's the study of dentistry in elderly people.
That's so specific. Oh.
So like once you get old and all your teeth like start like flying out of your mouth, that you have to go to a special dentist, a special gerodontologist.
Okay. Interesting.
Indeed.
This one is called Kubrickology.
Is it a study of Kubrick movies?
Yeah, the study of Stanley Kubrick and his works.
Well, I mean that makes sense. I assume there's some extensive study on 2001, a space
Odyssey.
something.
Space Odyssey. Have you seen that movie before?
Yes, I have. I was just trying to make a joke because everyone knows it. Actually,
Wait. Sorry, go. I want to talk about 2001 real quick.
You want to talk about it? Funny
Yeah.
story. Only movie I've fallen asleep to.
It's so freaking long and boring. But
No, I think I would love it. But I was
Has it
running
been
on
mentioned?
no sleep, and I was at a friend's house, and we were basically just like, we all want to fall asleep, but two of them were like, I can't fall asleep unless there's a movie, and so let's just watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I was like, oh, cool, I've never seen that. I really want to see it. And I think we got to the obelisk, and I was out. So,
Okay, so the thing about that movie is the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this because I love film, and this is like revolutionary and changed how films were watched and were
right,
made.
so you're like, you have to watch it, and you
I
think
have
you'll
to
love
watch it. And then it has an intermission in the middle of it because it's so long. And so after watching it, my consensus was, I love this movie, and it's great, and I love what it is, but I do not like watching it. And so, of course, the only logical thing to do was to go see it in IMAX. It was re-released for the 50th anniversary, and I saw it in IMAX 5 days ago, and it was very enjoyable.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It was really cool. I mean, this first half of it was kind of like super boring and long drawn takes, but it was fun. It was good. The people I was watching it with, though, like couldn't help but laugh during the first scene where it just kept switching between a bunch of long takes that were just static shots.
I know one or two friends of mine that I can't watch any movie like that because they take all of that as very humorous.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I'm trying to enjoy the filmmaking.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and I felt really bad, and I think the only reason that I was able to contain myself so well, and the fact that I was able to help them like calm down, was because there were other people in the theater, and I was like, guys, stop it. They weren't laughing at all, and they were probably really upset with us. But there's a moment where like sorry, this is kind of spoilers, but there's gorillas in the movie, and there's this point, or it's a ape really. Anyway, there's a moment where the ape is just like silent, and he's like walking, and then he goes, and then we just cracked up,
I
and
know
I
what you're
felt so
talking about,
bad.
yeah.
Anyway, that was another tangent for people who know what 2001: A Space Odyssey is. It's a good movie. So if you like film as a medium in any way, shape, or form, it's a must-watch. Anyway,
Definitely.
What's your next one?
My next lology is I picked this one, as I do most times, just because its name is hilarious. So, you know how there's the th sound, which like it's
sound?
literally like just friction. Like there's no there's no vowel to it, or the sound, which doesn't have a letter in the English alphabet.
Yep.
But there is an ology that is ichthyology. So it's a CH and then a TH right beside it.
Okay.
So ichthyology, which is hilarious, I assure you, is a branch of biology devoted to the study of fish. So it's literally just studying. It's just another way of basically saying marine biology, excluding everything else in the ocean besides fish, which there's like nothing else. I mean, pretty much.
Do you know what's really interesting?
What?
I have learned a lot about like linguistics and stuff because I'm interested in it. And there's something that I learned about the Klingon language from Star Trek, and the fact that it's comprised of a lot of clicks and really back throaty sounds.
Yeah.
The way that they invented it and thought of that is because they wanted to make it to sound very inhuman. And so they did that because it's not easy for a human to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, it could also be itch-theology, but
It's
then
not as fun.
you're adding an extra, yeah.
although now I'm currently a little sick, so that really hurt my throat, and I am not going to do that anymore. Anyway, our last one is oolology. Guess what that is?
Is it the study of ooze, Google, I have no idea. Oolology, like
It's the study of people saying ooh, ah. No, it's not. It's actually the study of
Dang it.
eggs. It's actually the study of eggs,
how's it
especially
spelled?
those of birds. Exactly how you'd think it would be.
Just with 2 O's?
Yep, Oolgy.
That's awesome.
Yep, I agree. So
I gotta find this. That's insane. Just
it's
oolology.
literally just ology with an O at the beginning.
Oolology.
I think I might call this episode Blank-ology, and then people who have listened to it previously are gonna be like, "Oh, he typoed," and then I'm gonna be like, "Ha! No, I didn't," because it's about oologies.
It could also
Not-
be about eulogies.
I was just about to say, not to be confused with eulogies. It's a very different thing.
Oology. I'm an oolologist.
Would it be an oologist? That's what it would be,
oologist.
right? Anyway, let's move on to our final segment. Shall we?
Okay. Segment 3. Rants about everything / nothing.
We're going to go to a random word generator, and we're going to rant about the first thing that comes up, and then we'll take turns. We'll rant about the same thing, list all the things we hate about it, and be very angry for no reason at all, and be very passionate about being mad at this random thing, which happens to be, drum rolls please, maybe we shouldn't do this one. Daughter.
What?
Daughter.
Daughter. Ugh. I hate daughter.
No.
You know, all of a sudden
Nope,
you have this.
Nope.
You have
nope,
this
we're
great.
not-
You have this great painting, and all of a sudden, you know what? Mr. Jackson Pollock comes in. He comes in. He puts a dot on it. What a daughter! Like seriously, you could do anything else. You could add a line. You could add a curve. But seriously, a dot. A dot is the most simple, basic thing you can add to anything. It's perfectly spherical. It makes no statement. It's just there. I like. You've heard
not
it before.
Not even mention polka dots.
Polka
dots are the
dots.
freaking worst. They're like, there's no method to the madness. There's just madness.
Another thing that's terrible about daughters is when they like put dots on you. Like, have you ever had someone that's been like, "Oh, look at me! I got like some circular stickers," and they like stick one on you, and you're like, "I didn't ask for your culture or whatever your stickers are."
Yeah,
like,
those are my least favorite people at carnivals. Also, people who take colored Sharpies and just like dot you all the time. Ooh.
almost makes me as mad as those Walmart greeters that are like, here's a little dot sticker, and they stick it on you, and you're like, your emotion isn't my emotion. You can't stick your smiley face on there. It doesn't
it's
become
ridiculous.
me or whatever. It's
you know what's-
rather oppressive. I would even go as far to say.
I would to completely agree. Do you know what's also bad about those smiley faces that are worse
What's that?
than other daughters that just
What?
dot people with just blank stickers?
Yeah.
They have 2 more dots for eyes. And so
Oh
there's
my
actually
goodness.
3 dots, and they're
I
dotting
didn't
you with
even
3
think of
dots
that.
on one sticker. Yeah,
Ugh. You know what I also hate a lot?
a lot.
Benches.
No, I do not. What?
Benches.
Oh,
They're
I
the
thought you
worst.
said something very different.
They're everything that's great about it. Chair, except none
longer.
of them.
Except longer, and you know what? Also, they're uncomfortable. Like, what about those park benches? Lame.
Right off the top of my head, top 5 worst things about a bench. You can't move it. They're always hard and they're not cushiony. In some cities, they put spikes on them so people don't sleep on them. They always are full of bird poop because normally they're outside. And number 5, I mean, like, really? You could just have a chair to yourself. Why do you have to sit by someone else? Like, there's not even a barrier between you two. I can't stand them. Those benches.
I agree. Oh my gosh, but have you seen those? Have you seen those freaking benches that have the divider in the middle of them?
Oh! Why would you do that? Just make
It's
2 chairs.
2 benches. Make 2
of them.
dang benches.
It's not that hard when you stick
Not
it in
at
the middle.
all.
It's like Well, I kind of want it to be a bench, but I'm too scared to not be a chair. So let me just be an uncomfortable metal middle part, so I can't even stick my stuff
Yeah.
next to me when
Yeah.
I'm sitting down.
Do you know what's also bad about non-metal benches that are made of wood?
What's that?
They fall apart and they just
Okay.
collapse.
Not only that, but like after it rains, like you want to
Yeah.
sit on that wooden bench.
It
Oh,
absorbs
that's too
the
bad.
water.
You'll have to wait 2 days before it's not soggy anymore.
Yeah,
oh,
no.
and then after that, it falls apart because
It
the wood
rots.
got a little wet from outside.
Bogus.
Oh,
Do you know what I really hate other than
What do you
benches
really hate?
and daughters? I
Yeah?
hate holdups.
oh,
You know-
the holdups.
The holdups when people go into stores and they just like get out the gun and they're like, "Hey, give me your money," and then a daughter comes in and they're like, "Oh, boop," and then they put a dot right over the gun, and that annoys me because I'm already annoyed at the guy who's pointing the gun at me, and then I'm annoyed by the daughter that comes in and tries to fix everything with a dot, which dots don't fix anything; they just make matters worse.
It's like, okay, so it's like they walk in and they're like, oh, I just like deserve to like have all the money in the bank. It's like,
Yeah, right?
Sorry, maybe that's what I came here to do. Have some consideration for other people trying to steal this place. And then the daughter's like, oh, look, I'm not getting enough tension with my smiley faces I'm putting everywhere. Let me just run in and insert myself into the situation.
Yeah,
Like,
no. They're so intrusive, and I don't like them. They usually just sit there on benches and waiting to dot people. You know what? I was once at a bank, and there was some people on a bench outside the bank. One of which was wearing a ski mask, and the other one had like a pallet of stickers, like a bunch of little dots. And I was thinking, okay, that's interesting, but you know what? I don't judge. I think it's important to not judge people just by appearance. And so I'm going in to make a deposit, and then this guy with the ski mask comes in, and he's like, "Give me the freaking money." And then he told everyone to get down. I was like, okay, and then I got down, and then the daughter came in, and he started putting dots all over the place. He was putting dots on his gun. He was putting dots on the ski mask. He was putting dots on the counter. It was ridiculous.
I mean, okay, honestly, you know, like the train dilemma where it's like, oh, there's like 5 people in the train. You could like
Yeah.
switch the cart and it kills one person or whatever. If on the tracks there was a daughter and then another track there was like a guy that was gonna hold up a bank, and then there was like Hitler, I mean, honestly, I couldn't decide because I wouldn't know which one's worse, the daughter
Yeah.
or the bank guy. Like, honestly.
Or Hitler. You know what the thing is? Hitler's already gone. So like, I don't have to deal with his stuff anymore. He probably didn't dot people other than with bullets, but other than that, I
Like,
mean,
Yeah, no, honestly, I really couldn't decide. I mean, obviously, I'm going to let him live, but the other two, like, I wish I could kill them both, honestly.
unforgiven sins that are just
Wow. I can't
reprehensible.
stand it.
yeah.
Okay, so there is another thing. I didn't want to bring it up because I know
Okay.
how mad it makes you.
Yeah,
but
oof.
I hate gulfs. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh
so
my gosh.
There's
Like
you have your country or whatever,
The-
and you got
ugh.
an ocean on one side, you got an ocean on the other side, and then sure enough, just trying to squeeze its way into the land, you got this big gulf, like Gulf of Mexico, or like
you know what?
I don't need you there. Like,
Yeah. Do you know what's even worse about gulfs?
what?
It's like God was all like, "Hey, let me take this land and take a big old bite out of it." And that's what it is.
And then look at Panama. It's like,
Ugh.
do we even call you like land? Like, "Hey, you're a land bridge. No, we like literally cut a hole in you because you're
Yeah.
so thin. Like, that's
Yeah.
what gulfs
Ugh.
do.
And actually, speaking of that, I also hate islands. Islands are just like, why do they get to be separate from our
You
mess?
could just have a big continent where people can
Yeah.
work together. Off on an island, you're like, oh, look at me. I'm like being by myself and independent. It's like, yeah, whatever. Go drown over there in the middle of the Pacific for all I care.
Go sink and die in a sinkhole, and then go down to that sinkhole. And guess what? Do you know what's gonna be waiting for you?
What's there?
A bench with a daughter and a guy that wants to hold up people. I know it.
The quadfecta of anger and hatred in my life.
It's the worst.
I think I've gotten all the anger out of my
Ugh.
system.
I think I've vented enough for today.
I think so too.
This has really helped. Thank you for this therapy session that we've had.
Thank you for the opportunity as well.
You're so welcome. My other word was door, and I really wish I was able to do that, but
I think I had Earthborn was my next one.
yeah.
I was gonna
hate
stop.
Earthboards.
Dang people and things that were bored on Earth. What about things that were bored in space? No. That is the end of our show. We hope you did enjoy it. What did we learn today, Noah?
We learned that daughters are basically as bad as people who rob banks.
We also found out good old Gromp and Yomp are still sitting there in their swamp fighting off those darn humans.
We also learned that Beth Lancelot has a very deep voice, but hides it with helium.
We also found out that the study of eggs is just oology or oology,
Ooh.
which sounds a lot like
Ooh.
eulogy and is a very
It does.
funny word.
Indeed.
You can find us on Twitter at Nomich_ and at Tendo, and you can email us at segmented.fm@gmail.com, and you can support the podcast on patreon.com/segmentedfm, where you can get cool little perk stuff. Like sometimes you get little segments that you don't hear here, and sometimes you can like hear us live or just whatever extra stuff we could throw at you. But
Yeah.
the best thing, honestly, the best thing you can do to support the podcast is to tell your friends about it. Be like, hey, check out the podcast. Or maybe if you like it, another great way you can support it is you can leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to it. Even if you listen to it on YouTube, you can put in the comments and be like, wow, what a podcast.
What a great podcast. And it will definitely come up in search results, probably. I don't know. I have no idea. But
yeah.
This was the last episode for the survey, so it is now done. So thank you for everyone who submitted your feedback. It was very helpful, and it allowed us to be able to better pick segments that you guys liked.
Yep.
And we will continue to refer to it in the future. So thank you very much. It has been very helpful.
Thank you.
With that,
You
are
the
best
dog
that
I
hate ...
to sounds like you're just like punctuating the sentence.
Period.
End.
Full stop. End.
Don't need a subject to the verb. We're done here.
Semicolon. Comma. Exclamation mark. Interrobang.
Interrobang.
Interrobang's a great punctuation mark, I have to say.
It's a strange one. I can't say I've ever used it. I kind of like the satisfaction of putting 3 question marks and 4 exclamation points.
That just, yeah, oh, yeah, no. Yeah, no.
You don't do that? No?
No, absolutely not. It's way too cluttered. I use an interrobang whenever I possibly can.
You've used an interrobang more than once in your life.
Yes.
Like, how many times would you say you've seriously used an interrobang?
At least 7.
Wow. Okay, I need to step up my interrobang game.
Your interro game?
My interrogame. That's pretty impressive.
Indeed. Okay, bye.